starting stream.
Make sure you check the stream.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to have to do this again.
What? You don't want to have to do 3 podcast episodes?
Nope.
Alright, let's see. Let me just check these levy loot. What is that banging?
Sorry, I moved my mic. How's it?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was just making sure that someone wasn't being crazy loud in the house. Talk?
Yeah.
But like, like the volume that you're going to be talking on the episode.
My inner goddess is prostrate. Well, at least she's quiet.
My subconscious doesn't have much to say at the moment either.
My inner goddess is prostrate. Well, at least she's quiet.
My subconscious doesn't have much to say at the moment either.
A little more easier?
A little more e-skirter. Ophelia. Alexis. A little more e-skirter. Ophelia. Alexis.
Nick's a little more?
A little more. Isn't there like a song? Is that Mambo number 5 that I'm thinking of?
A little more Nyx.
Word, I think we're good.
Isn't there like a song? Is that Mambo number 5 that I'm thinking of?
Okay, I think that's good. There we go. Here we go.
You're running through the darkness.
Good evening. I'm Nyx,
And I'm Ophelia.
and this is Between the Covers podcast, where we read terrible romance novels and review them, sort of. Like this week, well, this episode rather, we're just gonna dive into part 2 of 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes, this is the other 25 Shades.
Right. The second 25 Shades.
And we learned in this half that she actually nicknames him 50 Shades
Of fucked up.
in the book.
Yeah.
And then she refers to him as 50 Shades.
Right, yeah.
So,
It's really good. It's not really good.
good fodder for laughing stock.
I mean, I didn't even laugh that much the second half. I don't know what I was expecting, like if he would undergo some sort of character transformation or she would, become interesting, but
He has grown. He has grown a little bit,
well, he grows a lot,
quite often.
quite often. I mean, I suppose his goals changed slightly.
Yeah,
But it's just not. I don't know. None of it's believable.
how was this so popular?
I don't
what
know.
happened?
I don't know, man.
Anomaly,
The world went a little crazy for a minute.
apparently.
So I guess, we have the same major characters that we had last time. Basically, Anna and Christian.
Catherine Kavanaugh. Taylor is important too.
Yeah. Kind of. I mean, he's like the exposition character.
Well, he has one little slip up at one point where he reveals something to her, but besides that, he's just there.
Yeah, yeah. Just sort of moves stuff along. So I see that Miss James really enjoys like writing in the emails out. It's like one of the worst parts of this book is like how many fucking emails they send each other.
I listened to the audiobook version, so it was absurd. Every single one from Christian Grey.
my God.
Timestamp 1384. 84.
Yes.
There-
1384.
I had to slow down a lot. You get the idea. Timestamp,
Yeah,
subject,
Yep.
content.
Everything.
Yep.
Oof.
Christian Grey, CEO.
I know. Of what is it? Grey Enterprises
Holdings.
Yeah.
Incorporate, something like that. Every single email.
I know he's got the signature.
She read every single part of every single email out. Ugh. I figured out a new feature on Audible
Okay.
where you can take. Actually, I'm gonna turn my camera. You can turn it to 2 times the speed.
Oh.
So I did that. Listened to it half the amount of time it would have taken. So I just had to focus a little more.
Yeah, sure. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And it doesn't like distort anything.
No, it's just quick. It doesn't raise the pitch or anything. It just speeds it up. So you just have to focus a little more on it.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that makes it more bearable for you.
It does. I just wish I discovered that in the first half.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
the
sure.
narrator had a really slow voice as well, so that exacerbated things.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So where did we leave off last time? Was it right before her graduation?
Yeah, it was right before the graduation.
All right. So she had her graduation, got her graduation present from Christian, which was
Super nice car.
an Audi.
I know. Oof.
I wish. That makes me think it might be worth it. It might be worth a couple beltings once in a while.
That didn't happen until much later, though. I mean, she was even all in a tizzy about just the regular spanking, which was, I mean, I guess that some people might consider that somewhat out of their comfort zone, you know, due to the strong association with being punished as a child, maybe, or something like that. But, like, he wasn't even, like, I guess he used the riding crop once, but that wasn't really the same.
He kind of. I was wondering about bacteria with the riding crop
Oh, because
scene.
of the leather?
Yeah. Oh, that one was the sickening, but yeah. Anyway. And he didn't use the buckle side of the belt, did he?
I don't think so.
Right. So what's the problem?
I don't know. I mean, the thing though is that she agreed to it.
Right.
And he had
exactly.
made her repeat the horrible safe words.
Red
And yellow.
Yellow.
She's like, I don't know. It's so ridiculous.
What are common safe words?
I don't know. I mean, typically it's highly personalized, like individualized.
I just remember an episode of Portlandia. Have you ever seen
Oklahoma.
that show?
No.
Where, the character's safe word was cacao.
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 Yeah, I mean, I think the idea is that it's like a word that you wouldn't normally say during
Right.
intercourse.
Oklahoma.
Oh, we have Scorch here tonight. We have a new setup on the Scorch cam, so looks like he's trying to join us. Oh, you could do 3 at once? Wow.
That's what she said. That's what she said. Didn't even have the mic on. I'm fucking blowing it.
Oh, God. What?
Just 3. Oh,
Yes.
go back.
I don't know. Go ahead, sorry.
I forgot what we were talking about, so I was trying to...
Oh, we were just talking about how, like, I mean, I guess the overall encompassing topic is how not good this book is.
It's really not.
And you know, one thing that you and I joke around a lot about since reading this is like the inner goddess or like the subconscious
Like I was thinking,
monologues, their little 2 cents that they have to be throwing in all the time.
can she not just have thoughts? Can't she just think? Why does it have to be my inner goddess is whatever?
My inner goddess
My
is
inner
thrilled.
goddess is cheering, and my subconscious is
Shaking her finger at me.
right. Like
Yeah, it's a little too corny. You know what I mean? Like,
right, yeah.
oh, my inner goddess.
Like I would forgive her if she said it once,
yeah,
maybe, but it's
it's like
constant.
a 400 and something page book.
Yeah,
You could get away with mentioning it like a couple of times, but
yeah.
it's just so continuous. It just comes up all the time. And it's like I feel like you have to be very conceited to like think of your I don't know, like I suppose it would be the ego part of your brain, like refer to them as an inner goddess.
Have you heard the theory of the bicameral mind?
Maybe just not by that name.
It's not. It's just like a thought experiment theory that ancient people didn't recognize their inner voice. It sounded that they didn't have it or something because of they use the example of what's the one that's not the Odyssey, the other one?
The Iliad?
The Iliad. In the Iliad, the character does not have an inner monologue. So there's this theory they came up with that ancient people didn't develop their inner monologue yet, and that high-ranking my word recall is bad right now. Like this, I'm thinking druid, but that's not what I'm thinking of. A word like
spiritual
like a
leaders?
spiritual leader of some sort would
Okay.
have the more modern brain, and they'd be able to hear their inner monologue, and then
Well, I don't know. That's
it's
interesting.
just a theory.
Because
but-
I don't feel like I have necessarily an inner monologue.
Yeah.
Like, I have thoughts that cross my mind.
Right.
But I don't ever, like... I can't even imagine, like, my brain going off in the way that, like, these people's brains go off on monologues.
Right. There's also another...
I think it's just, like, a writing style.
Yeah.
To kind of, like...
There's another...
help you understand what's, like, the character motivation and things like that.
I can't remember what it's called, but there's some people that can't see images in their mind's eye either, and I forget what that is. But, well, we don't know what is in each other's heads, so maybe Anastasia Steele really has a little inner goddess sitting there
Oh my
in
God.
her mind telling her...
Getting excited
yeah,
about
getting-
Christian Grey wearing sweatpants or something. Jesus.
There's a lot we don't understand yet about the brain. So.
It's true. Like why people buy this book.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a lot of the same stuff. I feel like there was nothing really interesting or important that happened in the second half of the book that wasn't like somehow borrowed from the first half. Like even the sex scenes were just kind of like the kind of more of the same.
I usually zone out during most of those, but
They're all very similar.
Right, yeah.
Just the language is similar and the things that they do are similar, and it's very predictable because you're like, oh, gee, I wonder like if Christian is going to say some stuff like this. Oh, look, he totally did. And I wonder if Anna is going to like cower and tremble and gasp and moan and, you know, twitch and roll her eyes or whatever.
Roll her-
You know, it's all the same.
no, she can't roll her eyes. She'll get punished.
Yeah. I thought the ending was very unexpected.
Not what I was expecting at all. I did not expect an unhappy ending.
Yeah.
With it being so popular.
Right. Well, I mean, it's the first in a trilogy.
Right. Yeah.
So
True, but
clearly E.L. James was, you know, planning ahead.
Scorch, I need a refill. Please and thank you. Oh wait, I mean, refill.
Yeah, stop being so nice.
Well, we did have some new revelations about Christian Grey.
His very tragic childhood.
Yeah, his mother was a crack whore, as he says.
He does.
And he was going to follow her path into a life of drugs and trouble until Mrs. Robinson came along and saved him.
By fucking him.
And the only reason it ended was because her husband found out.
Mm-hmm. But they're still old friends.
Yes, she's still a friend and a business partner.
Yeah, that was weird.
Is she still married to the husband?
I have no idea. I don't think it's gone. I don't think it's mentioned.
Hey, I know you used to have this like crazy fuck party relationship with this dude, but like
With this underage
with
boy.
this underage boy. But by all means, you guys are old friends, so it's cool. Keep it up.
Well, Anastasia doesn't like it.
No, she very much does not like it.
But who would? She's an abuser. And she even states if that was a 17-year-old girl and
that's
Mr.
true.
Robinson, that would be a huge
It
deal.
would still be hot. Wait,
It's
how?
a double
What was
standard.
the age difference?
She was his mother's age, so he doesn't reveal exactly how old.
So
but
we can assume some like 40 something.
yeah,
fucking
40
a
something.
17-year-old.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
See, that's the double standard.
What? I think girls should totally be allowed to be fucked at 17. It's not my fault. Y'all don't want to be able to.
I'm talking
I'm
about
not preventing it.
an
I'm
adult,
about equality.
an adult female and a teenage boy.
Right.
What, like, Nyx?
Mm-hmm.
There's not really anything at all attractive about a teenage boy.
Oh,
anyway,
I definitely don't understand.
Oh, I really
that at
love how
all.
patchy your beard is and how your voice cracks when you're fucking me.
Mr.
In your race car
Robinson.
bed in your fucking parents' bed, like parents' house.
It does not. Wait, does it really say that they fucked in a race car bed?
No, no.
I was like, the fuck is it? A bigger question is why is she fucking a 17-year-old that still has a car bed?
It's just,
No, I know what you mean, Ophelia. It's weird when you see all these reports that are coming out recently with like 30, 40-year-old women like getting caught.
Getting
saying
Scorch,
away with
I'm
it?
sorry. I thought I wasn't aware that this had become a news podcast.
It wasn't. I was just drawing the point that it is like kind of where does a 40-year-old woman see like a 17-year-old attractive? I'm 25. I barely know what I'm doing.
because she can dominate him and control him, I guess.
I
Yeah.
guess so.
Easy target.
Yeah. Well, especially. Well, I guess he wasn't troubled at that point, right?
No, he was troubled, and she got him out of trouble by.
Right. But like
Making
he wasn't
I have to shield
like
him
with
from
his
trouble with
crack
my pussy.
whore mother. He had been adopted by the
but-
Greys already.
Yeah, but he couldn't live up to them, and he said he was about to get in, or was getting into drugs
Yeah.
and trouble and stuff, and she saved him.
Come crawl into the sanctuary that is my pussy.
Nyx is making a face.
So she doesn't want to laugh even though she knows it's funny. She's
It's
gonna
okay
be
to
the
laugh.
stoic one.
Right. Anyway, so yeah. Now the only big difference is that now Christian Grey is like, maybe I do want you to be my girlfriend instead of my like submissive.
Yeah, and he introduces her to his parents. As
Yep,
his
as his girlfriend, and then they like fuck in the boathouse.
Yeah,
And his sister like almost walks in on them. So
and
awkward.
Elliot brings along Kate or whatever her name is.
Yep, the
Kavanaugh.
roommate.
Yeah. That's a weird plot choice, I think.
To have the brother date the roommate.
Yeah, just why or
it
don't
does
know.
seem very like incestuous in terms of the storylines.
yeah, I don't get that. It's,
Like, oh my god, we're connected, and you two are connected, and now like all four of us are
it
connected.
makes the
and
suspension of disbelief difficult because it's so
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I mean, yes, that is the thing that makes me suspend disbelief.
Also, that most of the male love interests in these books we're reading are obscenely rich.
Oh my god, so rich, like beyond reasonable doubt rich.
He has a whole floor for all his cars in the parking garage. Gives her an Audi
He gives her an Audi. He like offers just to fly her to Paris
in his private jet.
in his private jet. He sends her to visit her mother in Georgia on his private jet, and then shows up in
Or
Georgia.
He upgrades her to first class.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he upgrades her to first class.
And then buys the seat across from her too, so there's no one near her.
It's so creepy and like possessive.
And yeah, shows up in Georgia
Yeah,
at the bar.
at the
her and
bar
her
that
mom
her
are at.
mom, yeah, charms the pants off her mom, of course.
Well, he knows how to deal with older women now.
Clearly. Clearly. Yeah, it's just kind of meh. It's just meh. Like, have I read worse? Absolutely.
We read worse for
the second half. But have I read much better? Yes. Also, yes. So it's disappointing that it was so popular. It's disappointing to me that it was so popular because I don't know. I would expect like I have higher standards.
There's
I
so
guess.
many better ones that people could have been reading than this.
Yeah, absolutely. But I guess at the same time, I'm not all that surprised. Just given the nature of society currently.
But there's so many
that
more
fascination.
bestsellers
Yeah,
that
but
are
like the
better.
fascination with that sort of, we're seeing it with the quality of the fantasy that's popular right now.
Oh, what quality?
Right, exactly. That's what I mean. It's
Yeah.
like, but people seem to be drawn to sort of like dark and gritty stuff right now
But
because
garbage.
like the world is a dark and gritty place or something.
We've always
But
liked dark and gritty.
well, yeah, but again, like there's a quality standard that's not being met.
Yeah, right. Ugh. I love fantasy.
Yes, me too. But I'm not super impressed with the fantasy that's been coming out recently.
Well, looks like all the genres are failing, unless you've read an actual good romance novel, but we have yet to come across one.
I think the novels that I tend to prefer that include sex are not strictly speaking romance novels, but more like a fantasy novel with romantic elements or like a historical romance novel or historical fiction with romance in it. It's always like another type of story, but it has romantic elements.
Romantic elements that are much better and more fleshed out than the romance genre novels.
Yes. I just think most of the romance novelists don't give themselves anywhere to go. Like they have, maybe it's like the story is based off of one encounter or one particular encounter, and they build the story around that one thing happening. And then that's it. Like very rarely is there good world building.
Yeah,
in
that's
romance
true.
novels.
Although the mermaid story had, what's it called? The short one with the merman.
The
Merman's
Merman's
Quest.
Quest.
Yeah, that one. That was a very fleshed out.
This is weird. It was just. It wasn't even like well fleshed out, but it
No,
was
wasn't.
like
But there was a lot of world building.
there
in
was
it.
potential. There was like
Right.
good potential
Yeah.
there. It just wasn't being like brought up to the level it could have been.
But
at.
it was like 60 pages, so you can only do so
but
much.
but I feel like there was. I'm pretty sure that was an offshoot story from the other one that was about like that dude's brother.
Oh, okay. I think just every time I read one, I think I can sit down in 2 days write a short novelette romance that's much
60
much
pages.
better. 60
60
pages.
pages is nothing.
Much better
Yeah.
than anything we've read.
We should probably do that.
Yeah.
We should each like write a short like 60-page romance story and then like swap them and critique them.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. We'll have to
Coming
do
soon
that.
on Between the Covers podcast.
Original fan fiction. All right, I don't know. What else is there to talk about this book? I feel like at this point we're just rehashing a lot of the same.
Do you have any quotes?
No, there was nothing good.
I have a crappy quote.
Okay.
I've wanted to spank you since you asked me if I was gay. Only because I laughed out loud at work when I heard that one.
You're like, all right, that's a pretty good line.
Yeah.
I mean, and to be fair, she kind of deserves it. If you ask somebody to their face, like if they're gay.
But she's
Sort of
interviewing him,
rude.
and she has Kate's hard-hitting, intense interview notes on her page, and she just reads it out loud without thinking.
Because she's an idiot. She's the stupidest friggin' protagonist I've read about in a long ass time.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only one who comes close to giving her a run for her money is the one we read like for the next half of the
She
episode.
is definitely stupider, much stupider than Anastasia.
Yeah.
And Anastasia is not intelligent.
No. She's such an obnoxious character. I just I never connected with her.
No, not at all.
Over the entire course of the book, it was just like, oh man, this bitch is obnoxious.
I didn't really connect with anyone. The only people I
kind of
actually
connected
liked
with
was
like Kate.
Taylor. I like Taylor. That tells you how bad the
I know.
characters
I
are.
was like, what a weird option to pick. No, I like the roommate. Like the roommate's plucky, you know. She's like she clearly has some personality, you know. She's bossy. That's her personality.
Bossy.
But like Anna doesn't even have that kind of personality. Anna's just like fumbling through life and being like, oh no,
Naive
I'm
about-
being showered with presents and and like all that's being
I
asked
don't
of
like
me is
it.
to be spanked, and like it's so degrading. However, I'm gonna live with myself.
But
and,
I love him.
and you're just
after
like,
2 weeks.
bitch, he gave you an Audi. Like you can't get spanked for an Audi. Like I know that sounds cold, but
But she
like,
loves him. It's not like a gross old
Right,
man you're trying to
it's-
gold dig. It's she loves him and he's beautiful and gorgeous.
She thinks she
and
loves him.
Right. I don't know. But she's really naive because she had no experience whatsoever.
She was a virgin.
Naive in every aspect of her life.
She very clearly is.
Right. So, but I don't know. Free Audi.
Free Audi,
Free closet full of designer clothes.
free personal
free
trainer.
BlackBerry. Personal trainer. Yeah.
Like, please somebody pay for me to have a personal trainer like 3 days a week.
$19.99 vintage wine whenever you want it.
I know. Oh my god, so classy. It always, you know what? One of the biggest things that annoyed me about her was her like complaining about having to work out.
Yeah.
I was like,
don't
are
like
you
exercise.
serious? I was like, man, if I had like consistently every week, 2 hours with a personal trainer 3 times a week and somebody else was paying for it.
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely
would be
sign up for it.
fucking
Yep.
there, like so fast.
Right.
Not even like no thought required whatsoever. Just like, what? This is a thing? Yes.
Yeah, you
yes.
may not like going to the gym, but once you're there, you have endorphins and everything when you're working out.
I just hate
it's
running.
a matter of actually
I just
getting
like
there.
have to have somebody like standing there
Yeah,
making
someone's
sure
telling
that
you
I'm
what to do
running
as you do
because
it.
I won't.
Yeah. It's much better to have someone standing over you telling you what
Yeah,
to do.
but I mean also it's just like I don't know. I like working out personally. So like that's just probably a personal
but I
vendetta
think
that I have
anyone that
against
actually
her.
tries working out would like it. It's just a matter of getting to it. That's the
I
problem.
don't know, Holly probably wouldn't.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think, yeah, if she was disgusted by him, that would be totally different. But
Right,
she-
right. Or being coerced, like
Right.
blackmailed or something. But she's
Right.
not.
No,
She
she's
signed
there-
she signed the damn contract.
She's there on her own volition.
There was
so-
like a back and forth for I don't know, a week or something about the contract.
Mm-hmm.
They just like couldn't agree. Anastasia kept emailing him back with like questions and
Yeah,
shit.
but then he keeps loosening up as he goes, and then he's like, contract at some point in the book.
Yeah, but I guess like the point is like at the end when she runs away, when she's like, no.
Yeah, he just hits her with the belt 6 times.
6
Which,
times.
how much worse can whatever else he did? How much worse is that really? And cries, has Taylor bring her home. Taylor gives her a handkerchief. She goes in the house, cries, and that's the end.
That's the end of part 1.
I was really shocked that that's how it ended. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I wasn't really either. But I think that was an extreme overreaction on her part, because she literally, not only did she just agree to it, but like before it happened, she was like, "Oh, I want you to show me like how intense it can be."
Right.
And he was like, "Are you sure? Like, are you sure about this?" And she was like, "Yes, like,
And she
hurt
could have
me."
used the safe word at
She
any
could
time.
have, yeah, absolutely. She could have been like, yellow.
Yellow.
That's like not cool.
Yeah.
Red, I want to stop. Like,
After the second one.
right. And that's when she started to really like feel uncomfortable about it.
Right.
But it's like instead she's gonna be melodramatic and like obnoxious about it, and make a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he did say that she could back out of the contract at any point she
Right.
wanted to. But
I feel like the beginning of the second book, she's gonna go back to him immediately the next day or something. That's my guess.
probably, but I think I'll maybe read a summary or something
That's
instead
yes.
of
I am not going to read
getting
it, but
getting the second
I will
book.
look it up.
Oof. It was hard to get through at points.
It was.
Yeah.
But now that we're through it, how many hearts?
I'll say 2.5 because there were like you said at the beginning, like it did laugh about stuff.
Right.
What about you?
I think 2,
Yeah.
but maybe 2.5, because it wasn't horribly written. It was just like low level writing.
It was low level writing with very blatant attempts to use words that maybe were too florid. No, not florid.
Well, I had an example
Flowery.
of that.
There were words that were too flowery for the context they were used in.
And they just were thrown in at random points,
Yeah.
and it didn't make sense. Like, I have my inner goddess is prostrate. At least she's quiet. I don't think a lot of people might immediately know what prostrate means.
Well, I always have associated that word with an act of subservience.
It's like lying down. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I would have said prone instead of
Yeah.
prostrate. Prostate.
Slip of the tongue.
Right. I didn't do my vocal warm-ups. But, I think the connotation of prostrate is more if you're paying homage to like a ruler or something, to like throw yourself
Right, yeah.
prostrate.
But she's
on the
throwing that
ground.
word like, oh wait, I gotta check the thesaurus.
Yes,
at
exactly. It was it's
like,
a total thesaurus
every
moment.
10 pages she'll look at the thesaurus and find a random word.
Yeah, it's really sad. I feel like the language is not, the language around it doesn't support
Well,
the use of those words.
Right. At least she opened a thesaurus, whereas
Oh god.
some of the other authors we've read
So
have
bad.
don't know what a thesaurus is. So
All right, yeah. I'm saying 2.5 stars.
all right, I'll go with that.
Cool.
Did not deserve world fame, but
No.
nothing we can do about that now.
Seriously. Except write our own bestseller. Get rich and famous.
If this is all it takes.
I know. Our very own was like alien detective horror romance.
Alien, yeah. Yeah, I want one in space. Yep.
You want to read about space pirates more. I'm really sad I missed that book by reading the Centaur one instead.
Someday we'll switch off and read the other two.
Oh my god. Not worth it. Not worth it at all. I would be happy if I never had to read that woman's writing ever again.
I actually wanted to do one about androids, but we'll talk about it.
That's weird. How would they have sex?
Well, there's a question
robots.
in androids where they're so close to human that some are indistinguishable. This is a sci-fi trope, but there's talk now in the real world about
Actual sex robots?
robot rights.
What?
If we get AI advanced enough, the rights of AI.
That's an interesting thought.
Yeah, so maybe I'll explore that and.
You can write it in your you could write about it in your 60-page
Yep.
romance story about androids. Well, Scorch, what do you think?
Well, we're at 33 minutes. If you guys want to call it, we can.
Yeah. So, do we end it and then do a new stream? Okay.
All right, so this has been Between the Covers podcast with your hosts, Ophelia and Nyx. I'm tagged as Ophelia Between, but that account may not be active, so I'll update that later. And you are, I can't remember.
At Nyx Blackwater.
At Nyx Blackwater. But you can find us both on Instagram at Between the Covers podcast.
Yep.
On Twitter at Between the Covers pod.
between underscore
do this.
covers.
I
But
don't
you were
use
just like,
Twitter.
you took it and ran with it. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, let's see
I
how far
tried.
you get.
Don't use Twitter.
No. We have an email at betweenthecoverspodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook at Between the Covers Podcast. And we have a PayPal. You can send us money if you want, but
And you can listen to us on Apple,
iTunes
iTunes.
or any podcasting source. So it was great reviewing the later 25 Shades of Grey, and we'll be back soon with our next book.
It's
Obsession-
Temptation.
Oh, Temptation,
The
right.
BBW paranormal romance. So,
So until
see you
then, we'll
soon.
see you.
We're drowning in the sea of blood. We have to give from eternal excess.